It's no secret that gay men and women are always grouped together. I mean, we hear about the girls and the gays all the time, but it's also no secret that misogyny is a huge issue within gay men. They often seem to think that it's okay when they do it because it's sassy or it's campy, but it's no different to the misogyny women face from straight men daily. For example, femphobia within the gay community is a very prominent issue. You often see a lot of masculine gay men claiming that feminine gays are giving us a bad name. And in dating, masculine gays will often only look for other masculine gay men, but feminine gay men will also look for masculine gay men. But the masculine gay men don't want the feminine gay men because of femphobia. But femphobia is also misogyny. It punishes all genders for being too feminine. It's just the same misogyny that straight men use to attack women, but within the gay community. But outside of just the gay community, misogyny is still a rampant issue within gay men. For example, oftentimes online, they are constantly attacking the women that they claim to love. For example, Ariana Grande, the homewrecker situation. When Ariana got into a relationship with Ethan Slater, countless gay men on Twitter were making jokes and outright shaming Ariana for allegedly being a homewrecker. But that is not the case. She never destroyed a marriage. But even if she did, that blame shouldn't fall fully on her. Most of the time when the criticism is happening, they very conveniently forget about Ethan and that there is also a man involved in the situation because it's just so much easier, I guess, to attack a woman for something that a man has also played a part in. It happens all the time where the woman is the one who's shamed and belittled for something that a man also played a part in, and it's absolutely outrageous. It's just such clear misogyny that is so normalized. Another example of the misogyny that is so prominent within gay spaces is body shaming, particularly with Twitter gays, I guess. They will find every single opportunity to belittle a woman for how she looks. A massive example of that right now is Kesha. You can't look through any of her comments or any comments on posts about her without finding some jobless gay weirdo on Twitter making fun of her appearance. It's so disgusting because the only reason they do that is because Kesha is a rape survivor, and they for some reason hate her for that. I think it's also worth mentioning here, like, that not only do they relentlessly body shame her, they also, like, love to joke about her rape and her, like, sexual assault and just kind of everything that she went through. And, I mean, it just makes me sick to my stomach, and I just thought it was worth mentioning. But it isn't only Kesha that faces the relentless body shaming. Pretty much every female celebrity has to suffer through it at the hands of a gay man who is apparently a fan of them. Another example is Taylor Swift. She has faced relentless body shaming throughout her entire career, but a huge portion of that comes from gay men online. A very recent example is when Taylor Swift revealed the Shiny Bug variant of her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, where she was belittled by a group of people on Twitter for not arching her back enough, which is just absurd. But throughout her career, Taylor has faced relentless body shaming from not just gays on Twitter, but like a big portion of it is. And it's just so disgusting that these people think it's okay to bully somebody for how they look. But then there is an opposite side to it. The body shaming of women is often reversed by fans, I guess, because a lot of the time, and this isn't exclusively a gay male issue, I mean, none of this is exclusively a gay male issue, but just within the community, I mean, as someone who's part of it, I've seen that a lot of this is just a big issue within the community and it needs to be talked about. But a lot of the time, people rush to defend the woman who's been body shamed with a photo where she looked better. And while this appears to be supportive, it just isn't. It just perpetuates the idea that her value is based entirely off of how she looks. And the idea that how you look determines your value as a person is such a huge issue in society as a whole. And things like this just perpetuate that idea and just make it worse. And I don't know, it just needs to end. It needs to stop. It's not okay. Trans misogyny is another huge issue in the gay community as well. I mean, you'd think that a marginalized group would stick together with another marginalized group. I mean, especially a group who fought for us to have rights. You know, like, without trans people, we wouldn't have the same rights we do today, if any. But no, very recently at least, a lot of gay men, particularly, have been seen just being outwardly transphobic, specifically towards trans women, which is where obviously the misogyny comes in, and just aligning their beliefs with TERFs, and it's just so mind-boggling and so weird. But not only is it just weird and an absolute betrayal of this group of people who have fought for our rights forever, it's also just horrible that these people think it's okay to attack one of the most marginalized communities that there is right now. I mean, they need the support from us that they have given us throughout the entirety of history, but for some reason, a pretty big group of us aren't doing that. I mean, they're doing the complete opposite, and it's awful, it's terrible. I think that so much of homophobia is rooted in misogyny. I think it, like, stems from homophobia, because our society is just full of hatred for femininity. I mean, it's feminine presenting people are viewed as weak and stupid and all those things, and it's just absolutely absurd. It's horrific. And so, not only are the gay men participating in misogyny incredibly hypocritical, they're also just awful people, and I just think this is something that we don't talk about enough. Not only is it just hypocritical, I think it's also like a betrayal of women in general. I mean, they've historically been huge advocates for LGBTQ plus rights. Like, I feel like misogyny within this community is such a betrayal of all the women who have fought for our rights throughout the years, but then again, our respect for them shouldn't be conditional. It doesn't matter if they fought for our rights or not. Like, misogyny is just not okay. That's especially true when it comes to trans women and just like trans people in general. I mean, I really believe we wouldn't have any rights if not for them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is gay men aren't exempt from misogyny, yet misogyny within the gay community is all too often ignored simply like because we're gay. And like and I think like the misogynistic gays, they either don't realize what they're doing or they just believe that they have a free pass to be as misogynistic as they can just because they're gay. But I think we need to talk about this more, and they need to know that they can't. Being queer doesn't automatically make you progressive, I guess, is what I want to say. Like, our society resents femininity so much, and misogyny is just such a huge issue for women, and femphobia is such a huge issue for everybody. And us minorities need to stick together, especially in times like these where all of our rights are in danger. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope this was coherent and made sense and all that. I just kind of had some thoughts that I wanted to get out. So yeah, thanks for listening. If you did, and maybe like the video and subscribe if that's a thing that you want to do. And yeah,